Alright, so just to go over a few more things that I missed in the last video. So when you do disconnect a patient from the ventilator and then reconnect them, the bellows are going to drop because the pressure is lost. The best way to increase the bellows again when it is on the actual ventilator mode is to hold this O2 flush button. When you hold it, you'll see the bellows come back up to fill up to then drive the pressure again for the next breath. If it's on manually ventilating a patient, when you flip that switch back to the bag mode, you can then turn this is called the EPL valve. When you turn it, you're actually closing the valve, and over here are the different pressure set points, 20, 30, and then 70, and everything in between. When you do that, this fills up this reservoir bag, and you can then compress this to deliver a breath. If the bag stays deflated before the next breath, and you quickly need to ventilate someone to help bring their oxygen saturation back up, you can hold this flush button and it'll inflate this bag on its own so that you can then deliver a nice positive pressure breath again for the next breath. Now, over here, to discuss a few things, if you press spirometry, you can then see the actual flow volume loops. You can change exactly what you're looking at if you want to see the actual flow volume or pressure volume loops. And over here, you'll see the different variables that you can keep track of if you need to, such as peak pressure, which you'll also see over here, but then your plateau pressure as well, your PEEP, and so on and so forth. In terms of alarms, if you want to change your settings for alarms, you can go to Alarm Setup. If you press that, then these are your lower and upper limits after which it would actually start to alarm. So for example, your end-tidal CO2, at this point, it would only alarm if it goes above 60. So you can click on this, turn this green knob again, and then press it to set your next value. And that's now your upper limit for when the alarms go off. There's also more limits up here. You can go to more limits, and you can change your alarm settings as well for like respiratory rate or other variables as well. Now, when the patient's apneic, that's the type of sound that you would actually hear. What I'm going to do quickly is actually occlude the pressure on here, so you can see the alarm that would occur when the peak pressures go up. So right now, as you can see, as I occlude the circuit, the pressure is increasing, the bag is also inflating, and now you see over here it says peak pressure high, and these are the types of alarms that you would hear. When I let go of it, this also even gave you a hint. It says PEEP is high, is there a blockage? So you can try and troubleshoot in terms of what's going on. Hopefully this was helpful. Oh, one more thing, sorry, that I forgot is where to attach your end-tidal CO2 monitoring for the patient. So if it is one of, I will pause this real quick, and you can just audio pause up here, or a silence button down here for the alarms for this side. When you want to connect your end-tidal CO2, our particular circuit that we have, you can either take this blue cap off and connect the end-tidal CO2 here, or there's this filter over here, and you can take this blue cap off over here and connect it over here. So let's say I want to connect it to this one. This is your end-tidal CO2 tubing. Just screw that in over here. You take the other end, and it's actually on this module right up here. This top one is where you would screw it in, not where it says spirometry, but this top one is actually for your end-tidal CO2, and that's where it would plug in. Once you do that, then you can actually see a change in your end-tidal CO2 waveform and the actual numbers that would reflect. Hopefully this video was helpful. If there's anything else that I missed, I'll make a part 3 video. Thank you very much.